Hello guys, and welcome to a new video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have you a preview of Cossacks 3, and I know that there are quite a few missions, so I might go into them in the future, but for now what we're going to do is start with the tutorial. I've never played Cossacks 3 before. I did play Cossacks European Wars, Art of War, and then Back to War like the originals. Then I did play Cossacks 2 Napoleonic Wars, which was really cool. And now we're on to Cossacks 3, which honestly I was incredibly excited for when I heard about it. The guys who made it got in touch and gave me a copy to show to you guys, so that's what I'm doing. And I really do, I'm like so excited to get into this. Just like I was with Beyond Earth actually, like seriously, it's on that level. And I'm really looking forward to jumping into this tutorial. So we're going to start off with the War Ruse tutorial. When playing this campaign, you will learn how to control your forces and your economy, as well as understand the stratagems and military art. You will find out more about various methods of assault and diversionary tactics, and will be able to organize an effective defense. Naturally, you already have knowledge that will allow you to gain brilliant victories, but it can never hurt to discover new war ruses and use them to crush previously invincible enemies. So let's go ahead and do this. We will start with peace, I guess, and start to look at resources and so on, how they work in the game. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect, whether or not the tutorial will be good or not. Normally they're okay. It depends if it's voiced, I guess. It's kind of annoying to have to read, and as you can see, I don't think it is voiced. So, my king, we are almost there. The town where you will learn the basics of rulership is near. We will arrive very soon. Then let's not waste time, my friend. Okay, so follow the advisor. Select a unit to do so. Point to it. Yeah, you can just click them. And right, so this is all pretty simple so far. We'll just continue to follow this chappie with a large exclamation mark above his head. It does look very pretty, this game. Good day, Your Majesty. We are to escort you to our fine little town. A king needs a proper retinue, and we are honoured to serve as such. Thank you, my children. Follow me. So, we're going to bring these guys along with us. Fantastic. So yeah, I think honestly, this game is actually really beautiful. The original, it looks very similar to the original, but like obviously the graphics are upgraded quite significantly. It's all 1080p now, which is fantastic, and you can zoom like all the way in and look at the units really nice and close. They aren't like super high fidelity models, but they do the job for the amount of units that you can get in Cossacks. So these are our peasants. And onwards we walk to reveal our settlement. Greetings, Your Majesty. I am honoured to welcome you to my domain. What are you looking at? Never mind, that is nothing. Never mind that nothing is produced here. These lazy clowns couldn't be forced to work if salvation of their souls has depended on it. Not like this land offers anything to be produced in the first place. You can't harvest snow in winter here. What about the garrison? They are soldiers, alright. They can't march in line, so what? They know how to hold a pike. That's enough for this backwater wilderness as far as I'm concerned. Listen not to your scheming advisors. I've got enemies everywhere. An honest man's life is never easy. I am surprised the whole lot of you are not yet running on all fours here. My king, I apologize you saw the town in such a decrepit state. Appointing this knave a governor was a dire mistake. One that needs to be fixed at once. He ought to be fired immediately. I think it is just dumb. Send this imbecile back home, let him learn to manage his own estate, and his negligence has cost the kingdom dearly. I must make an example of him. Execute the fool. We're gonna execute him. Oh, brilliant. I'm so cruel. But there we go. That's a solid start. Gets everybody in line, that's for sure. My king, we have to clean the place up now. Here come the local peasants. They are very important. It is their job to construct buildings and harvest resources. There are 6 resources in total: wood, stone, food, gold, iron and coal. You need them all to develop the town and to raise an army. How should I begin? Food is among the most important resources. You should start by building a mill and ploughing a field that will supply you with provisions. Food is necessary both to produce new soldiers and peasants, and to feed the existing ones. If you run out of provisions, your units will starve and die. Select a proper place to construct a mill. You will need plenty of space and flat terrain for the field. I think I spotted a nice place. Oh, that's convenient. Let's go grab these peasants, and we shall build a mill on the circle. They will jolly over to there, build that, and start working on it. I believe there is buttons to speed up, but I actually forgot them, so please bear with me. Originally you could always speed up the game time if you were playing single player. Just makes things occur a lot quicker, as opposed to waiting for them to build a mill. So this should spawn a load of fields. Yep. Great, the mill is up and the field is planted. Give the seeds some time to grow. Meanwhile, build a storehouse. It will provide storage for wood and stone extracted by your presence. It is prudent to construct the storehouse as close as possible to forest or quarry. By the way, your food will not be stored in the storehouse. Who wants their bread to come with sand and sawdust? These make bad spices indeed. Okay, so we want to build a storehouse here now. Fabulous. And we will start to mine the stone there and also cut down some wood. So let's just have a look at some of these units. I think these are like the musketeers. We've got the general fella. And then this guy is sort of like something completely different. I think it's one of the original models that they introduced into the game. Anyway, now it is time to begin producing the remaining resources: gold, iron and coal. Without coal and iron, your firearms will turn into useless scrap metal. Mineral veins are easy to spot on the surface of rock. Please find an iron, coal and gold deposit and order peasants to build a mine there. Well, it spotted it for me. Fabulous. So we'll get a mine going there. These guys need to like start chopping some wood and getting some stone. These guys need to start cutting the crops as soon as they can, although the seeds haven't grown yet. So that's iron. Is there something else nearby? I believe that's like the only one. You can send like 5 peasants, I think it was, into mines, and that will be the maximum capacity for the mine. Ideally I want to be able to build more peasants, but I can't yet. These peasants can get to work on the fields. So you can see the progress of the building in the bottom left. Looks like that's that bar, and I guess this is hit points underneath. The hit points are growing as they build it up. You can see that this artillery depot actually has 40,000, but I distinctly remember hit points, like after you set a building on fire, the hit points go down over time unless you fix it. Something like that anyway. Now we have sufficient resources to develop the town, my king. Please send some peasants to work the fields and grow food to feed our people. Others should be ordered to fall trees and to work in the quarry, providing us with wood and stone. Make sure the mine has enough workers as well, and we can start raising the garrison. Finally, peaceful labours tire me. Let's raise a company of pikemen. Train 36 pikemen. That is my next charge. So we need iron and food to produce 17th century pikemen. It's kind of difficult to remember how many you've already built, since the production speed of units in Cossacks is very fast. And therefore what happens is you have very large battles very often. Especially in multiplayer, it gets pretty hectic. So how many do we have? 27, 28, 28. So we need 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fabulous. Oh, and we need one more because it's 36, not 35. We have another problem to solve. At the moment, your soldiers look more like a gang of outlaws. In order to turn them into a proper army, we need to combine them into regiments. They will fight much better and have more imposing look to boot. To create a regiment, you need an officer and a drummer, along with the soldiers themselves, of course. An infantry regiment can line up into 3 formations: rank, column and square. The choice of the formation depends on the task at hand. Column is best for assault, rank formation is most suitable for firing, and square is ideal for defense, especially from enemy cavalry. Let's whip them into shape. Men, hear my orders. So let's assume the rank formation. My king, we need more dwelling space to build up our garrison. Soldiers and peasants alike need bunks to sleep on. You cannot hire new people until you can provide them with a roof above their heads. Command your workers to build some houses. All men are endowed with certain unalienable rights. Among these is shelter from wind and weather. So this is our little formation. Very cool. Right, we need to build some more dwellings, so let's grab a couple of dudes. Now, I don't think there's like a set amount of like stuff you can build, or peasants you can use to build, sorry. Why is that chap not building? There you go. So I could put like all of these guys onto these buildings and they'll build really quick. Which is generally what you do in multiplayer as far as I can remember. If you want to build something, you just build them as quick as possible. There we go. My king! Sometimes you will be unable to produce some resources or another. You'll need to access the market to trade it for other resources. Market prices are not set in stone. The more you sell a particular resource, the lower its price drops. Alas, the hucksters have no patriotic feelings. Right, let's get these guys back to making food. And this here is our market. Well, this hamlet is in good order now, but I fear it hit the limits of its development. The hinterland lacks resources. It needs to expand into large city. We can keep exploiting it, sure, but we should consider looking for resources elsewhere. On the other side of the river, for example. Command the workers to construct a shipyard. Once it is completed, order some fishing boats. The shipyard has to be constructed by the water, of course. Bring more planks. Right, let's grab these guys. Who needs food at the moment? And we shall build a dockyard. So this should build relatively quickly. As you can see, the hit points of the shipyard are crazy high, and that's because in Cossacks 3 there is actually quite a lot of naval warfare sometimes, and if your shipyards don't have much health, then they get destroyed very easily and you can't create ships to fight back. It's kind of like a lot like Age of Empires in the sense that naval battles require you to destroy the opposing docks in order to win a lot of the time. And then you basically control all of the water. Just going to mess around with these chappies while we're waiting. Shouldn't take too long to construct that, considering we have, what, 10 peasants working upon it. But if you have like an infinite amount of peasants, one thing that I really like about Cossacks 3 is that it always uses the optimum amount to build the building you're building. So for example, if I had an infinite amount, it would have used like 20-30 peasants to build that dockyard, because you can fit 20-30 peasants around the building. Whereas if it's a small building, then it will only send like 8 or so, because you can only fit 8 peasants around that building to work on it at the same time. Anyway, my king, we have to scrap the bottom of this poor land. Order to expand the network of passages and railroads inside the mines. With this done, the mine could accommodate more workers, increasing its output. Good idea. So, we can enlarge the mines and build an extensive railroad network for them. That will cost 1,000 food and some gold. We should improve our food production intensively. Instead of ploughing new lands, we can boost the output of existing fields. We will need new agricultural equipment from our blacksmith and an improvement of the mill. What are we waiting for? So yeah, we'll enlarge the mines, and then here we can click on manufacture agricultural equipment to increase the field capacity, which is basically each section here will have more food on it, so you can have more workers working at the same time. We don't even have more peasants though, so it's kind of pointless. I think they're just trying to go through the upgrades that you can do to your economy in order to make it stronger. And in Cossacks, economy is a massive part of the game. If you have a terrible economy, you can't have big armies, and if you don't have big armies, you lose. Simple as that. Anyway, now that we have boosted our economy and stocked up resources, we can begin a reform of our army. To make the most from our soldiers, or from our men, we will need to train them and drill them. Brave and skillful soldiers fight better and scatter numerous, yet untrained mobs with ease. It is better to maintain a small but professional standing army than a horde of green recruits. As the Romans used to say, men become brave through training and force of discipline. Indeed, the professional soldiers of Rome crushed many a horde of barbarian militiamen. So now we need to conduct a fencing drill, and we can also conduct physical training, and that will increase their weapon attack and defense. Each unit has their different statistics down here. You can see they have 2 protection against swords, 2 protection against pikes, and then I think that's ranged possibly. My king, disaster struck. There is a fire in the smithy. Send peasants to douse the flames out before it burns to the ground, lest we'll have to build a brand new one. Okay, so let's just get some guys to go over there. And this was the fires I was talking about. The fire sort of spread over time, and if the fire consumes the building, then basically what happens is that it just collapses, basically. But yeah, as I was saying, we have protection against bullets, protection against arrows, protection against cannonballs, and protection against grape shots. Like I said before, my king, this land is poor, and we need a better place for a proper city. Let's scout on the other side of the river. To cross this obstacle, we'll need a ferry, and our shipyard is capable of producing it. Wasn't I going to create a couple of boats, a couple of fishing boats, and then we will create a ferry? And yeah, we also have attack here and defense here, which is the statistics for these guys. Now defense is just general defense. The +3 and the +2 are the upgrades that we have given. As you can see, the boat gets built over time on a little raft, and then we'll send that off. We can continue to upgrade our pikemen. The thing is, there is a lot of things to do in Cossacks, and there are just so many buildings that do so many different things. These ones are sort of just for looks, these little camps, whereas most of these ones around here are all buildings that you can click on and get upgrades from. They also all have these unique sounds that accompany them. So you can see there the attack of the pikemen has gone up. Actually, that +2 isn't actually contributing to the overall attack. Or defense, for that matter. Interesting. I mean, it's increased the statistics versus swords, pikes, and so on. You can see that just went up again after the physical training. So I'm not sure exactly what this defense 0+3 means. And you can see our little fishing boat doing its thing now. Now I believe fishing boats are automatic, and they will continue to just move around on their own. Now I do and have always done or loved the detail on boats and so on in this game. The boats in Back to War just looked so cool. They really did. And I'm pretty sure they look just as awesome in this one. Now, the only thing that is a bit of an issue, but is with Age of Empires as well, is that boats are like off scale quite dramatically. Like a cannon on land is like the size of 10 cannons on a ship. And I mean, obviously it's just a nitpick really, but if you had a huge building or ships here, then it would definitely fill up things very quickly. Anyway, my king, our ferry is ready for her maiden voyage. Use it to transport peasants and soldiers to the other side of the river. Send them out to look for a good place to build a city, one rich with resource deposits. When you find one, order to build a town centre. It will serve as a heart of the city, providing us with housing to recruit more peasants, and with storage for resources collected by our workers. Quest for the new land. This is so exciting. Let's head there at once. So we have to get this guy to the shore. As you can see, the ramp should come down. There you go. And then you can basically order people onto the ferry. So let's grab all these fellas. Transport your soldiers and peasants across the river and found a new city there. Right, let's take all of the peasants across. Why not? My entire city is moving across. Basically what happens is they walk to this point before they move on, which is what this cross is for. Okay, so we are all aboard. Travel now to the other side. We don't really need to take the fishing boat with us. Onwards we go. Oh, we have these guys as well. Musketeers under our command. And we'll take them to the shore and bring them over with us as soon as I can. So as you can see, musketeers actually have terrible defense, but they do have firepower. They need to be protected, that's for sure. Looks like there's a convenient flat bit of land for us. Okay, and we can get them all off now. Looks like this is taking longer than it used to. But we are going to start by building a town hall. And I believe the majority of the troops, or all the troops, they come off in the order that you put them on. So because I put the peasants on first, they come off last. And sometimes that can be quite irritating. So our new town hall is constructed. My king, you should note how various buildings of your city need one another. Some of them can't be constructed for as long as others are missing. You cannot build barracks without a blacksmith, for instance. Besides, some buildings just cannot function properly without others. Imagine you have built the barracks and began raising an army, then somehow lost a smithy in process. Your barracks is still there, but you cannot train more soldiers until a replacement blacksmith is available. Your learning amazes me, my friend. I am lucky to have an advisor like you. Some buildings have progressive prices. For example, each subsequent barracks is more expensive than the previous. I actually never knew that, so that's interesting to know. I guess what we're going to do is just build a blacksmith. We probably need a new mill. Probably need to build some mines. So let's do all this if we can. Can get a barracks now. I really just like the models of the buildings in general. I think they're really, really well done. I think they're mostly 2D, like isometric. Unless they're all 3D now. I think they might be 3D now because I believe you can rotate the camera and look at them from different directions. And of course we're going to need some houses. at least I know we can queue orders now. My king, sound the alarm. Some people were spotted. They are clearly not our men, and their intent is anything but benign. We should protect ourselves. Okay, let's get our troops over there. What I do need to do is get my ferry to come back and collect these musketeers for us. And there we go. Are you all right, my king? We have beaten them away. God be praised. These scoundrels could do much harm. Have you noticed some buildings and peasants can be captured when there are no soldiers nearby? Mills and mines left unguarded, for instance. Yeah, I saw it. They need to be guarded at all times. Right, send men to patrol around our storehouses, mines and mills. However, it only helps against lone soldiers. We need to do better to be safe from significant enemy forces. Let's erect a palisade. Good idea to surround the city with a wall. So what we can do is order to guard. You can order a unit to guard a building or another unit with a button on the unit's orders panel. Move and attack. Stand easy. Dismiss squad. We'll do that for now. There we go. Use unit as a guard. My king, there is a way to raise an army quickly by hiring some mercenaries. Of course, they are not as good as professional soldiers and they cost a lot of gold, with their price increasing with each warrior already enlisted. Worse yet, if you ever run out of gold, they will mutiny and start fighting against us. Still, if you are pressed for time to raise an army of your own, soldiers of fortunes should suffice. You need to build the diplomatic center to hire them. I see, desperate times, desperate measures. Actually, right now is a pretty desperate time. We need to destroy enemy buildings, and while our brave soldiers are a bane of enemy cavalry and infantry, they are powerless when facing walls of stone. We need cannons, but for now there is no time nor funds to acquire them. It is better to write off some gold and hire bowmen. They are capable of destroying enemy buildings with flaming arrows. Fine. Call for my treasurer. Time to untie my purse. Okay. So I guess we're just going to get some archers. Cool beans. And what I'm going to do is get these guys to work. I don't think I'm going to worry about guarding anything for now because I don't think anything much is going to happen. I will continue to build some pikemen. I believe you can hit control, yeah, and it will just constantly build them. And that can be quite handy. Going to get my musketeers onto the ferry, get some of these fellas onto the ferry as well. So there is Turkish archers and normal archers. Can't really tell the difference. Let's just build a Turkish archer and we shall compare them. So one's got 28 attack. I think they're both exactly the same, they just look different. So we've got some bowmen to burn down the enemy barracks. And we're constantly building soldiers. That one Turkish archer can just hang out over here. Alright, let's get these guys on the way. These ones can start mining stone. Those peasants are busy working. We can improve harvesting from our mill. Let's just stop these guys from producing more. We're going to disband that formation and we're going to create a new one, a new bigger one. And let's go and attack the enemy. Okay, here come our archers, and soon we shall be able to destroy this barracks. Alright, let's go ahead and attack. We can use attack move. And we will destroy them. As they come closer. There we go. Beautiful. Now we just need our archers to get over here. And destroy that barracks. The musketeers can hang out in the field. And I might actually just send that ferry back, just in case we need to bring anything else over after all this. So they are nearly there. And so far I've really been enjoying this again. I really just love the mechanics of this game. You can see here we have a kill count for our unit. We've got 28 kills and none of our pikemen have died yet. Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, it looks like we can make formations. With our mercenaries, even though they don't have generals. Well, that's pretty cool. And that is one destroyed building. Huzzah! Now that hunger and enemy troops pose no threat to the city, it is time to think about science. I suggest to build an academy. It will allow you to make certain upgrades and research new technologies, allowing you to boost the production efficiency of your economy and the martial prowess of your troops. Besides, you need an academy to produce officers and drummers. It is 18th century. An officer is supposed to possess wide-ranging knowledge from all walks of life. Time to introduce some culture to this godforsaken place. Alright, let's grab some of these peasants and create an academy. And then we will be able to produce the officers. What I do need to do is build some more peasants. I can never remember the optimal amount of peasants. I believe, like, just as your units get more and more, you just build more and more peasants. I think that was just the way it was. There was no, like, finite amount that you could build. As far as I remember, you can just build them constantly. It's just they build pretty slowly, honestly. And there we have it, our academy. You can proceed to the 18th century, opening new opportunities. To do so, select the town centre and order to research this upgrade. We need a cathedral and an artillery depot. My king, you have learned much. You know how to produce resources, how to build cities, and how to raise armies. When the storehouses are full of supplies and the borders are secured by reliable troops, there is a golden opportunity to develop sciences. So many wondrous discoveries were achieved by our learned men. And how many more still await ahead? What will come? What will the coming century bring? What kind of arms will bear the armies of tomorrow? How could our noble ancestors, who used to fight armoured and mounted, imagine the accomplishments of infantry made of commoners armed with muskets? And what kind of weaponry will be invented by some cruel genius in years to come? My friend, I am honoured to have a man like you for my advisor. Thank you for your service. Victory! And there you have it, guys. That is the tutorial campaign for Cossacks 3. And honestly, I think that was a really nice introduction to the game. I'm very much looking forward to getting into this, and hopefully you guys are too. So if you guys want to see more, make sure you let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to do so. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.